Today we are going to install microk8s on Ubuntu 20.04. Microk8s is a small Kubernetes distribution which has small disk and memory footprint. Microk8s and works on Linux, Windows and Mac OS. Only prerequisite is Snap Package Manager. If you have that Snap Package Manager, you can run microk8s on that operating system. And microk8s is perfectly good for developer workstations and to try out the different applications. You can use microk8s even for some hands-on on Kubernetes. So the prerequisite for running microk8s, there is no much requirement on the hardware size. You need only 20 GB of free disk space and 4 GB of memory is sufficient. I'm running a virtual machine which is having 2 GB of memory, and there are two processors allocated to this VM. And we need you need an internet connection so that you can download and install the microk8s packages easily. In this video, we are going to not only install microk8s, we are going to install as well as kubectl command line tool, and we are going to install Visual Studio Code. Plus, we will install Grafana. So Grafana is our demo application for today's video. So please watch till the end. I'm going to power on that virtual machine. So my regular user is TechieBear. I'm going to log in with that user. And I'm logged in. Now to install microk8s, I have to start the terminal. So click on activities in search for terminal. It will open one of the terminal, and let's zoom little bit. So yeah, and now we can install the microk8s. So for that I need Snap. So Snap is already available on Ubuntu virtual machine, so I don't have to install Snap separately. Sudo snap is the command. Install microk8s, and channel will be 1.21. So it will install microk8s 1.21 version. Now installation of microk8s is started. It did download first, and then this is installation process. Microk8s installation is completed, and actually now we have completed Kubernetes installation, the single node Kubernetes installation. It's a single command, but to work with Kubernetes, we have to do additional configuration. So let's walk through the additional commands of Kubernetes. So first thing we'll be checking if we have microk8s running. So I will run sudo microk8s status command to check whether microk8s is running. And it is showing microk8s is not running. So we have to start microk8s. So sudo microk8s start. And now microk8s is started. But to interact with microk8s command line, I have to always elevate my permission by using sudo command. So to avoid elevating permission and directly using microk8s start, stop, and etc. those commands, I can add this user, my current user, which is TechieBear, to the microk8s group. So to do that, sudo usermod, we will modify this user, and we will add this user to the microk8s and $user. So $user is nothing but the current user. You can mention directly the username as well. And if you have multiple usernames, you can mention another username here. So that's it. But if I run id command, it won't show me that this user is a part of the microk8s group. So here nowhere we can see that. So we have to re-log in into the session, and to do that, dollar and su dash dollar user and the user's password. So I have logged in, and now I can cross check if user is part of microk8s group. Yes, it is part of microk8s group. Now I can run commands without sudo, and here let's check the status of microk8s. And I can see microk8s is running. High availability, no, that's fine because we are running the single node Kubernetes cluster, and that's perfectly fine. Now what else we can do to interact with the microk8s? So basically first thing I can do is microk8s kubectl get namespaces. So I can check all the namespaces. I can see kube system, kube public, kube node lease, and the default namespace. But to interact with directly with the kubectl, let's say I want to run directly kubectl, so I won't be able to do that since there are two prerequisites. One is I need kubectl CLI. Second is I need the config file. So what I will do, I will install kubectl first, and then we'll copy the config file. So to install kubectl, I will again use snap command to install kubectl. Snap install kubectl classic, and it is asking for password. Since I forgot to give sudo command, so it will ask password. Now let's copy the config file. So to copy, to view the config first, I will run microk8s config. It is showing me kubeconfig file, so it's a content, and I will make mkdir. First I will check if I am in home directory. Yes, I'm in home directory, and I have to create kube directory. So in home directory you have to create the .kube directory. Okay, if the directory already exists, so we have to go to .kube directory, and we have to create the file, which is config file. The name of the file is config file. I can directly use microk8s config and config. The file is created. Now I can run kubectl get namespaces directly, and it will provide me all the namespaces. So that's interesting. Now kubectl get pods from all namespaces, and it is showing Calico pod only. So we will enable few services now. So let's enable microk8s, enable dashboard, then DNS registry. I will enable this much. Now we have enabled some additional services, but to start this services, it takes some time. So let's check pods. Now we can view the dashboard. To view the dashboard, microk8s dashboard proxy. So still the services are not up and running. So it is still waiting for pods. So we'll have to wait for some time then. Yeah, it is starting the pods one by one. Now dashboard pod is up and running. Let's cross check once again. Okay, all the pods are running, so we are good with it. And I will run microk8s dashboard proxy. And proxy dashboard is available on this address 127.0.01 and port number is 10443. I will just copy link, and this is token to login. So we will need token as well to login into the dashboard. So it is giving me warning, but I can go to advanced and accept the risk and continue. And we'll go to terminal. I will copy the token for login. And let's go back to browser, paste it, sign in, don't save. And I can see dashboard is up and running. I can switch the namespaces here, like kube system, and then which pods are running in kube system. I can check it here. So Calico, Kubernetes dashboard, dashboard metrics wrapper, and there are other services are also running. So we have done till this. Let's start Grafana deployment. Before deploying Grafana, I will install Visual Studio Code. So sudo snap install code. I'm installing Visual Studio Code so that I can copy paste. I can save the manifest file of the deployment, and it's optional because you can uh, use any of the editor available on the Ubuntu. And another benefit of using Visual Studio will be you can through the Visual Studio Code you can interact with microk8s cluster. So I will show you which plugins you will need in Visual Studio Code. Now Visual Studio Code is installed. So let's start Visual Studio Code. Here I will type code. Now Visual Studio Code is running. So we can open a folder where we can save the Grafana manifest file. So I'm creating a folder here, Grafana, and we will create a file here. I trust. Grafana.yaml. I have already written file, so I'm going to copy that file from host machine. So for that, I have to share the clipboard. As of now, it is disabled, so I'm going to make it bidirectional. I can copy paste from host VM, host machine, and copy and then paste. So I have Grafana YAML file here. What I did is I have created I'm creating persistent volume claim, and I'm using storage class which is microk8s host path. So this is just a demo deployment, and the deployment is fit for running on the single Kubernetes node. And then we are having kind deployment, and there we are having Grafana deployment. So we are going to deploy Grafana version 7.5.2. We can change the image here to deploy the latest Grafana, let's say 8 version. We are going to deploy Grafana 8.1.4. So let me make it 8.1.4 version. I have checked this image on Docker Hub, and let's go to view, start the terminal, and to apply grafana.yaml, we'll run kubectl apply -f grafana.yaml, and to cross check if pod is up and running, kubectl get pods, and the pod just now started in 10 seconds back. So let's wait for one by one here. Yes, it's up and running now completely. And to access Grafana URL, what we will do, we will check service object, and the service object is showing cluster IP is this, and port is 3000. So we will use the cluster IP of Grafana. Copy this. And we are able to access Grafana. It is taking time. Yeah, it is completely loaded now. And default username for Grafana is admin, as well as password is admin. So it is asking to change password. I'm going to skip as of now. And we can access Grafana. So this is great way of installing and testing applications locally. You can add data sources like Elasticsearch, Prometheus, and other data sources. In next video, let me know which application you want to deploy in microk8s. So I will perform that deployment and will record the video. To support me, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.